User Interface Designer. The visual part of a computer application or operating system through which the client interacts with the computer or software. It determines how the commands are given to the computer or the program and how data is displayed on the screen. Types of user interfaces. There are two main types of user interfaces: text-based user interface or command line interface, and GUI, that is graphical user interface. Text-based user interface. This method relies primarily on the keyboard. A typical example of this is Unix. Advantages: many and easier to customization options, typically capable of more important tasks. Disadvantages: relies heavily on recall rather than recognition. Navigation is often more difficult. Next is GUI, graphical user interface. GUI relies much more heavily on the mouse. A typical example of this type of interface is any version of Windows operating system. Multiple windows allow different information to be displayed simultaneously on the user screen. Icons, different types of information on some systems. Icon represent files, on other icons describe processes. Commands are selected from menu rather than typed in the command language. A pointing device such as a keyboard is used for selecting choices from a menu or indicating items of interest in a window. Graphics, graphical elements can be mixed with the text or same display. Advantages: less expert knowledge is required to use it, easier to navigate, and can look through the folders quickly in guess and check manner. The users may switch quickly from one task to another and can interact with several different applications. Disadvantages: typically decreased options, usually less customizable. UI design principles: structure, simplicity, visibility, feedback, and tolerance. Structure: design should organize the user's interface purposefully in the meaningful and usual based on precision, consistent models that are apparent and recognizable to users, putting related things together and separating unrelated things, differentiating dissimilar things and making similar things resemble one another. The structure principle is concerned with the overall user interface architecture. Simplicity: the design should make simpler common task easy, communicating clearly and directly in the user's language and providing useful shortcuts that are meaningfully related to longer procedures. Visibility: the design should make all required options and materials for a given function visible without distracting the user with extraneous or redundant data. Feedback: the design should keep users informed of actions or interpretations, changes of state or conditions, and bugs or exceptions that are relevant and of interest to the user through clear, conscious, and unambiguous language familiar to the users. Tolerance: the design should be flexible and tolerant, decreasing the cost of errors and misuse by allowing undoing and redoing while also preventing bugs wherever possible by tolerating varied inputs and sequences by interpreting all reasonable actions.